We're going to want clearance on this thing. We want 2/1000ths. You can be between 0 and 2/1000ths, but a sharp reel and bed knife should cut a piece of paper and shear a piece of paper cleanly at 2/1000ths. If you use a thin piece of paper, you can put two of them together. If it cuts one and leaves one, that's perfect. That's what you're looking for. Either I'm going to use a piece of paper to check it, or I'm going to use a feeler gauge. And there's people that use both. If you cut a feeler gauge, you're wasting money. If you cut paper, there's lots more of it around. So most people just use paper. Cone-shaped reels, it's very easy to cone-shape a reel. If you've got a 4-point adjusted reel, like this particular reel here, 4-point means that there's 2 bolts at this side and 2 bolts at this side. And if I adjust one side of that bed knife and not the other, or if when I adjust it, I tighten one side tighter than the other side, whichever side is tighter is going to wear faster. And so what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have even clearance all the way across. If not, it's going to wear the reel cone-shaped. You can run a reel cone-shaped up to about 30/1000ths, 40/1000ths, and then what's going to happen is you're actually trying to twist the bed knife to match the reel. And that's going to cause the whole frame to twist, and you're going to get to a point where you can't adjust it anymore. Then you need to pull it out, and when you grind it, you're going to grind it back into a cylinder. So the idea is get it into a cylinder and adjust it even. You shouldn't really have too much of a problem. The single point adjusting type reels, which is this style right here, when you put this bed bar in, there's an eccentric at one end or the other, and that eccentric brings that reel up and adjusts it for parallelism so that it's parallel all the way across. Once you parallel it, when the person adjusts it, they're going to turn one knob and it will evenly bring both sides up. So as long as the initial setup was correct, everything beyond that will be fine. But you've got to do the initial setup to begin with. This reel over here is a Jacobson, and it's a 4-point adjuster, and you can actually adjust those incorrectly and cone shape it pretty easy. Anybody use gang mowers like Jacobson Blitzers? Those are very common. You got 2 big knobs and people just kind of turn on them, and unless you get down and actually physically turn them and try to check them, it's pretty easy to misadjust them. Those tend to get out of adjustment very easily, and so people just don't know what they're doing. They just start turning knobs until, I don't know, they feel like they've done their job. They've turned their knobs. They don't even know why. They're just turning knobs. So they go and they turn all the knobs a little bit, then they go mow, and then pretty soon the reels are skidding and doing all kinds of funny things. And so unless you know what you're doing, you shouldn't adjust them, because they need to be evenly brought up. So if you turn one a half a click, you need to turn the other one a half a click. You need to bring both sides up even. Otherwise, you'll cone shape them. Bumping things here. This is just a curve. We kind of seen this one earlier. A cutting in it when it's brand new and it's sharp and it's ground, it's going to be up here above. This is my optimum quality of cut. No matter what you do, again, it's going to get dull. And we're going to want to keep it in the optimum. We're going to do something like backlapping, and I'm not going to cover backlapping because we've already done that. But if it's dull, I'm either going to use backlapping, which is a maintenance. It's only a maintenance practice. If I'm dull, I'm going to do backlapping to bring this back square, or I'm going to spin grind it. You're going to pick and choose whichever one you're going to do. But we want to bring this reel back square, and we want to bring the bed knife back square. So we're going to face the bed knife, and we're going to backlap, or we're going to pull it off and spin grind it. Bring it back to square. We've seen this slide using backlapping compound. The important thing with backlapping compound is you got to get this stuff washed back out. And so many people backlap and they don't wash it clean, and when they go out and start mowing, the backlapping compound washes free, and then it runs through the reel and dulls it up. So be careful, make sure you wash it. If you use grinding or if you use backlapping, what you're going to do is you're going to bring it back up to optimum quality of cut. And if you keep it up here, the maintenance on them is really fast and very simple. If you wait till it's clear down here, you've gone a long ways and you have some pretty nasty looking grass.